not as good looking as the one that was right here, I guess.
Dude, when she walks in a room, it's like the walls bevel around her. And it's not even like, and I even talk about her in my comedy. It's like, I don't even want to fuck her. I don't want to mess it up. She's just so goddamn bad. I'm like, dude, and she's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like, most people, I say that not because I'm some kind of well, I am, but I'm not some kind of a man whore, and like, I'm not saying it to be sleazy. I'm saying most people see and they're like, oh, you know, she's so, no, it ain't even about that, man. She's like,
she's cool.
Yeah, but I have this thing. Are we recording now? Mm-hmm. All right, because this banter is good shit. So I have this thing where, and it's so funny you're here because we're gonna talk. Okay, so hold up. What up, universe? Fuck Articulate Barbarian, Alex Soto. We out here, man. It's been a crazy night. We've been running through. I got my hip hop hat on. When you see me wearing this hat, it's the hip hop hat because I got a hip hop artist, Kendall T.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
If you don't know, you will know because this young man, I've been watching this guy for years. I'm going to be picking on him a little bit today because I remember when he was KT3 and, you know, six-pack KT and all that good stuff. So, you know, now it's Kendall T.
Yeah.
What did you used to be called over back in the day? We can talk about it.
I went by KT3 and I went by...
KT3?
Prodigy.
Yeah.
Prodigy. That's
so it's like, you know, okay, man, that's cool.
Prodigy.
And then, like, throughout his career, because I'm an old man, I see him strictly from the business perspective. I see him making moves. He's grinding. Again, part of the episode that we talked about when we had the group party here just a little bit ago. The night before Thanksgiving, grinding. That's what we're doing tonight. Grind. Everybody else is all getting their ugly sweaters out and getting ready to start Christmas decorating and getting ready to eat turkey, which we're going to do all that tomorrow. But here it is, grinding the night before Thanksgiving. So we're in the studio. So Kendall T, I've been watching you for years, and I remember you put out this music video where you were busting bottles in slow motion, and I'm all like, why you gotta bust bottles in slow motion? And then Post Malone does them, like, how many years ago was that? At least 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then Congratulations by Post Malone, which is one of my favorite songs because I just retired from corporate America. Congrats, you know, but the video, he's smashing shit in slow-mo. I'm like, damn, Kendall T was so ahead of his time.
Exactly. Whatever's freaking cool, you do it.
And I got my hip-hop hat on because I was there when rap music was born. I bought into it, hook, line, and sinker, the hip-hop, hibbity, hip-hop, all that bullshit. Rapper's Delight. I was there when it was Jam on It. Huh? On it, yeah. Nucleus.
Yeah.
You know, Breaking 1 and 2.
Scrub the ground.
Yeah. And then you see also because I'm from the dirty fucking South, there was stuff that my Southeast demographic, the deep underbelly, Jam Pony. I don't know if you know nothing about no Jam Pony, but you know, get Jam Pony and you know, Luke Skywalker and the Miami bass movement, and I was there, Techmaster PEB, all that old school.
I just did a show with Jam Pony.
Oh my god, ain't that something?
Yeah.
What are they, about 60? Rolling out in walkers.
Pretty much.
Boom, 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 boom. Jam Pony. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean?
No, it was a DJ.
Yeah. I know. Well, it was pretty much all it was. Yeah. That was back in the day, you know, that's basically the original roots of EDM. Now, one DJ and a bunch of people wilding out to one person performing on turntables, you know? And the thing is so, and then the Great White Hope, Beastie Boys, I was there.
Beastie Boys.
Listen, we talk all the time about how artists transcend their music, they change their style. I was there in the purest because Beastie Boys started out as a crazy punk rock band, and then they aligned with that dude who Eminem worked with later, looked like he from ZZ Top. What's his name? Ted Nugent.
What?
Paul Newman. What the hell's that old man's name? Yeah, it is Rick Rubin. Is that the white dude with the long beard?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Rick Rubin. I don't know if it's Rick Rubin. I thought that was the fat guy that won America's Idol. or America's Got Talent.
Something, no. They ain't paying us to say their name.
Right, no, it's no bullshit. So, anyways, the guy who, also, too, that's some New York shit. We're in the South, all right, goddamn. We didn't know about that shit. But when he aligned, and they made License to Ill, 1986, Beastie Boys' License to Ill, the plane hit the mountain, that was that was like that one stitch in time that I caught hold of it. Now, I tried to fuck with them after that. But this shit just got weird. I don't understand rapping in megaphones. I don't understand the synthesized music. Look, man, that moment in time, 1986, Beastie Boys' License to Ill, and I was there. My mom had no idea. I said, Mom, can we go see a concert? She said yes. 1987, I saw Beastie Boys open up for Run DMC, and Run DMC was Raising Hell, and I was there when the giant curtain was the $100 bill with the three of them on the face, and when the curtain raised up, there was two women in giant bird cages, and from behind the giant bird cages, an inflatable giant penis and an inflatable beer can blew up behind them. All this in front of my mother. I was just a kid. I was just a little kid. And I wilded out, man, and I got a taste of it. And I was there when hip-hop, I was there when NWA came out. And I got all the way up, and then fellow brother comedians talk about, Bill Burr says that you then start your family, and then you kind of get sucked into a bubble. And then 21 years goes by before my youngest graduated. Yeah. And then I started driving in January, Uber and Lyft. And I started with iHeartRadio. And when you're driving 2-3 days in a row and you sleeping in motels and sleeping in the car just because you're trying to just figure stuff out, you're on this mission. And I started getting into this modern music. And like I said, I gave you a glimpse of what I thought, because I believe that the modern trap day movement, people are going to go nuts on this, but I believe it is the resurgence of hippie psychedelic drug music. I mean, it is, I don't know, I've never done all this new, I was always into stuff that comes naturally from the earth. I don't really get into all that chemical romance shit and all this new fangled dangled with the lean and the bean and all that. I don't get it. But the deal is they started doing what the Beatles did. Beatles started out in a black and white suit with their bowl cuts. And if you didn't see them when Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and they literally look like people who do cosplay for hippies, like they were so hippied out, they looked fake. Because they got on that psychedelic. And with all that said and done, I was there when parental advisory stickers went on albums. So with all that said and done, you come out, this is that long was a segue. Now you come on the scene and you made a conscious decision to make clean hip hop, but it's not like clean hip hop. It's not like you're singing about naive shit. You're singing about real stuff. Performing hip hop, I don't know what it's called. If it's singing, is it singing? Is rapping? You rapping?
Rapping,
whatever. But you have a beautiful voice. Voice like an angel, this young man. So the point is,
can't sing.
You made this conscious decision to come out with, and I know your background because we grew up in the kind of the same world, and I know, and you can talk about it if you want, or you don't have to talk about it if you want. But the point is I know your roots. It's not like you had that, oh, I come from a troubled home or I come from a bad situation, but you have managed to take what you got and you managed to make it work, and you managed to get the respect of the grimy motherfuckers and the well-respected hip-hop community, and you seem to be doing big things. All that was a huge introduction, I know, but it's not every day. This guy's like vapor, man. You got to get a hold of him, and I got to get it all out in one shot. Damn, man. It's like no kids, no family, just got married, and I'm like, hey, I'll get with me in 6 weeks, because, he's a busy man.
He's a little
like
bit
the president of the United States over here. But so the long and the short of it is, what is different about you? Is there some sort of a goal? Is there some sort of mission? Or are you just kind of rolling through saying, I'm not going to cuss? I'll be honest with you. Will Smith was the only guy that kind of jumps out in my mind that has successfully managed to stay in the business and do fun music and and not go real corrupt. But his shit has been fly for years, and because he's such a good lyricist. So, and I don't give a damn. Y'all can hate on me if you want. I'm down with Will Smith. I'm down with Justin Timberlake. I'm down with Bon Jovi. People who are managed to keep
Yeah, I love
stay in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when everybody called Will Smith a pussy, but he was laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm a Will Smith fan.
So
I got one of his CDs in my car.
So where did this all come from? You're going to do the same interview for a million times. I don't even want to talk about that. I want to talk about where did it come from as far as your beginning. But then what is it that, let's talk more about that. Is there a mission? How do you break it down? How do you unroll it out of your head? How does it come out? Not the standard questions.
As far as music goes, you said I've accomplished earning a lot of respect from some of these guys that don't really speak on the same topics as me, and as far as music goes. But I would say a lot of the time, most of the time, I earn their respect because I'm just keeping it real. I'm not trying to be someone. I've got friends, man. I wouldn't really even call them friends, but I know people that are trying to make it in the music industry, and on one end, they're talking about everything they've got and talking about how they did this and how they did that. But as soon as that camera turns off, it's like, bro, that ain't you. I'm not going to put him on blast, but if he's watching this, he'll know who I'm talking about. But there's an artist here in Ocala, and he told me that what he raps about, he don't think is cool. He straight up told me, he said, I don't think it's cool, and I don't think it's cool. I don't want to rap about it. I just do it because I'm getting a lot of views. And he told me that. So if you can't believe what you're talking about, like, come on, you know what I mean? It's you need to be real. And like you said, I didn't grow up. I was fortunate enough to not grow up in the hood or the ghetto, or I mean, we had our rough times, and I think everyone deals with their own stuff. I mean, I dealt with my dad being extremely sick and saying my goodbyes to him a few times, and just thank God, it wasn't his time. He's still around. But I've dealt with a lot of things in my life that seemed like a breaking point in my life. But to other people, they had even worse breaking points, or they grew up in a worse situation as me. So as far as my music goes, I am clean in my music, and I am a Christian. So I would say some people put me in the category as Christian rap. I don't put me in that category. Right. I put myself as I am a rapper, and my faith is going to come out in my music sometimes. Right. But I mean, I got 13 tracks on my album, and out of the 13, 7 of them might mention my faith, and the others might just be fun track, turn up and just have fun.
Well, 50 Cent talks about church in his music too.
It's just you're going to rap about what you're passionate about. Sure. So if you're passionate about drugs, getting high, pop Molly, whatever, rap about it. Right. But I'm not the type to rap about anything that I'm not passionate about.
Sure. And the other thing too is first of all, I mean, not to sound like an old fart, but I actually consider your music more adult contemporary, because in the world that I grew up in, rap is not different than adult contemporary, because adult people who listen to contemporary music love hip hop. Yeah. It's now ingrained. It's not separate. You know what I mean? Nickelback is in the same playlist as Migos, is the same playlist as Sarah fucking McLachlan nowadays. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you got to have that wind down music when you had a long day stress and you need somebody to talk to you and get you off the ledge. You don't pop Migos in. You pop in Sarah goddamn McLachlan. Yeah. She makes you feel like maybe puppies are a good thing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's cool. I get it.
Music for all kinds of moods and expressions. And
then above and beyond that, now all of a sudden everybody's done mixed it up. We got crap country rap music, which I fucking love. We've got this weird, and then there's some stuff out there that, again, like you remember I always love on my man Haystack. That was like that. I always love fringy ass shit that nobody knows about, but yet once you get into their music, they're blowing up and they've got a lot of friggin' fans, and they got I'll give you an example, not one that I follow, but the damn Juggalos. What are they called? Insane Clown Posse. Oh yeah. That band consistently for decades now has managed to keep a loyal fan base of freaks and misfits. But the thing about it is, again, I look at everything from a business perspective. Yeah. You can hate and laugh and write off ICP all you want. I don't know a damn song they sing. Yeah. I just know that I've been watching these filthy ass rainbow looking people at their shows that they do in swamps. Okay? And they're huge. Yeah. And they're millionaires. You see what I'm saying? So to me, I look at it from the business perspective of like, how do people stay fresh, and how do people like, you know, and the thing about it is I look at your music and I listen to the music, and it's not like, see, my whole thing about Christian music and contemporary Christian music is it to me, it lacks bite, like it lacks teeth. You know, and it, to me, it only appeals to people who are only in that genre, in my opinion.
No,
I've only been listening to it my whole fucking life, and we've been trying to be as cool as possible. And sometimes you might hear something where there's bands with real instruments. They might put out a couple songs that cross over. Yeah. But in all honesty, the Christian hip hop, it's not. To me, your music is more like, you know, like I tell Anzia, shout out Anzia Sky, Anzia Magazine, that when I first saw, when I look at art, I look at something that reaches out from across the room and reaches and grabs me. From the way I dress to the magazine that she does. Why I was interested in talking to her wasn't because you were on her magazine, it was because the cover of that magazine was racy. Yeah. Edgy, with teeth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
And it's so funny because it's like, never mess with an artist. I'm learning the hard way, because I was like, yeah, it looks like it's like you got super hot chicks that are dirty. And she looked at me and I'm like, well, I meant more like they were being chased through the city. And she looked at me and I was like, well, like Harley Quinn. She's like, oh, okay, Harley Quinn. I'm like, whoo, goddamn. Didn't know what to say. Because I don't know what, you know. But the thing about it is it reached out for, and your music, I'm not just dick riding you, your music really does reach out, and that's why I think it connects. Now, you also, I'm not even going to talk about like I see a pattern or whatever. If y'all people can't see what the man's doing, then you just follow the blueprint and look at the outline. Yeah. But I feel what you're doing with the kind of music and the kind of talent you're getting. I can see how they are still valuable and approachable. You see what I'm saying? I feel that. So as a blueprint, I like what you're doing. I also, and might I also add that the boy comes from a middle class background, but it's not like your run-of-the-mill middle class parents that work a 40-hour corporate gig. His parents are straight assassins when it comes to business. And it would only be foolish. You talk about what the time that I've spent around them, I've learned so much. Yeah. So the idea that you guys just like, it's like I jokingly tell people about growing up in the Keys and eating lobster. Growing up in the Keys, we were like 8 years old, be like, damn, Mom, 30 lobster tails for dinner again? Yeah. Can we eat McDonald's tonight? Like, you don't even realize the lobster you grew up in, you know what I mean? So now, it's like, you couldn't ask for a better education as far as how to, because it's not like you grew up in a house where your parents were doctors and money just came to them as they were entitled to it because they put in their time in school. So no, your family made their money with hustles, with business transactions, with grinding, and that's the stuff that you know, that's the stuff that, I mean, it's like, you know, listen, man, I've seen this guy, he hustles shit like you wouldn't believe, man. What was that shit you did with a boxing ring? You got the boxing ring for free?
Yeah, I just got it.
It's a $30,000 boxing ring. How many people do you think a year have a dream to open up a boxing facility or an MMA training gym? And this fool goes out and basically gets one for free.
Yeah, everything just started falling in my lap.
Right?
But I mean, it's a lot of I mean, hard work. Like you said, my parents, they're really good. They're really good entrepreneurs. I mean, they work hard, and I kind of just took, well, I mean, my mom opened up a cleaning company and had some of the biggest bids here in the state of Florida. My dad and his father and brother opened up a painting company in the state of Ohio, and it was one of the biggest painting companies in Cincinnati area. So, I mean, I kind of just took their hustle and their grind and took that and kind of just molded my own grind around music, which is really is the exact same thing. It's just different what you're approaching.
And you know something else I want to talk to you about, because I asked you about it because I kind of knew what the answer was going to be. And we're not going to talk about money, but what we're going to talk about is it's not very glamorous. The grind, the climb, it was a great honor to perform. This man performed. There's no real timestamp based on when the show actually will premiere on the internet after January. But since in the last few months you opened and did the show for the Miami Heat and you performed with Lil Wayne. Mm-hmm. Huge accolade. Huge, but whatever the finance is, you know, it's like you sound like you get this big number because you really only perform for 20 minutes or whatever. But you know, you've got the transportation, you've got to get there, then you've got time frames, and then if you're smack dab in the middle of classic weekend, regardless of color, creed, age, nothing, just to get out that sumbitch. Crazy. So and it's funny because like I have the opportunity and the privilege because you know I have great friends in the business that I have opportunities to open for BET Comics on Comic View BET right now. And basically when they're not on TV getting paid, they're grinding because the bills are due every month, whether you're on TV all the time or not. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the deal is when it's all said and done, they fly like I see the deals where it's like you'll get a deal where it's like we'll give you a round trip ticket and $100. And this guy is huge, very successful. So he flies in on a Friday or on a Thursday night or a Friday, depending on what time he performs at the place here. And then his ticket flies back Sunday. So he drops in here, comes in immediately off the fucking plane, comes straight in, he starts drinking, and we all start opening up the room and getting everyone to, you know, warmed up. And then he comes and murders. Can't have more than another drink because he's got to jump in the rental. He's got to haul ass because his next show is the next day in Miami or Fort Lauderdale or West Palm, and then he'll go West Palm Friday night, Saturday night, and then he'll perform hopefully one more Sunday night, and then he's on an airplane. And these are in small rooms that basically, by the time they're said and done, this guy who's on TV all the time is basically making $500 to $1,000 a week, and he's traded the 9-to-5 corporate cubicle life for a gypsy life.
Yeah.
We did this big show. It fell in my lap. We made the most of it. It looks like we performed at Woodstock. Huge. Then the following week we went out and we did in a nostalgic, legit, like credentialed resume building room. There's no money in it. There's absolutely no money in it until you become so successful. So my whole thing is I flip the script and say, all right, well, I'm just going to own it and make my own shows. That's my whole angle. That's my business. Because now it's like there's not enough money for me to go out there. Who the fuck do I care if I'm going to perform for somebody and build a resume if at least I don't break even?
Yeah.
So, you know, and I jokingly, and I always say, Joe Rogan had a podcast with Charlie Murphy. And I saw Charlie Murphy right before he died in Orlando.
Oh, did you?
At that show with George Lopez. And I'll be frank with you, George, you are my motherfucking man, but you were a bit lazy. His comedy was a bit lazy. You can only say fuck Bush or fuck Trump so much.
Yeah.
To me, you know, I get it. Easy joke.
I get it.
I thought you'd be the headliner too. He was the MC because it was his show, just like what I do.
Oh, really?
So anyhow, Charlie Murphy said when he came out of the military, his brother was successful. He wasn't successful. So when he came in, he said he realized that as being a celebrity, the brother of a celebrity, and because he's around these people, he actually had some stories. So he figured once he discovered how much money he could make doing jokes, he immediately went into an hour. Immediately, with no experience, no open mic, nothing. And he ate shit sandwich after shit sandwich for years, but he was the opening act, and he finally built it. And the thing that moved me on that podcast when he said, once I figured out how much money I could make, I don't have time. I don't have time to learn. I don't have time to wait. And all I kept hearing was, I don't have time. Now, fast forward to what just happened. What was it, a year ago that he died?
Yeah. Coming up, yeah, I bet.
What did he know then?
Yeah, time.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the whole thing is, it's like, damn, man. And now I come out of it, retired out of corporate America, 42 years old, and now I want to start a stand-up comedy career and a podcast. How dare I? Who do I think I am, right? But I don't have time. I don't have time to wait.
Never too late.
So the passion will make me drive to the other side of the state because I want to do it, but it's not because I have to do it.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that either. If they're not, a lot of people kind of look at you crazy if you're doing these opportunities and you're like, how much you get paid for that? Oh, well, I think negative $100. They're like, what? Because it takes money to make money, first off, and it takes hustling and grinding to be anywhere. So I think a lot of people, if they don't have the passion that you have, like a lot of my friends don't see the passion and love I have for rap or just music in general.
Right.
So they can't understand, like, bro, why would you drive all the way to Miami to do this? And then after you perform, drive another 4.5 hours back same night.
Right.
And it's like, well, because I love it. You got to be passionate about it. And when you're passionate and love something enough, man, you just put in a lot of hours, a lot of money, and just wish for
Well, the thing about it, too, though, is with social media, and you know way more about it than I do, but you start out, like, for instance, the whole blueprint with the podcast, all of it's free. Everything we do is free. Producers, producing, camera, equipment, props, everything's free. We do everything for free because the idea is once you get people to fall in love with you and you sell one shirt and 100,000 people buy the shirt, everything comes into perspective. So if you're building a fan base and you're building, and that's the whole thing about what we're doing here. I'm not as much interested, it's obvious you're fucking good. So I'm not really interested in hearing you rap. I'm not really into rap music. I got a fashion designer coming up next week. I'm not exactly sure I get what the fuck he's doing. But the thing about it is what appeals to me from the business perspective is he posts something on Facebook and within 5 minutes that fucking comment's filled up.
Yeah.
So he's got some sort of a following. So, and also I can't wait because I'm gonna bust his ass because black people done messed up in my opinion with the way they dress. Because I always use black people
dressing like skaters now.
I don't get it, and I'm not. Why are fat people wearing skinny jeans, man? It's messing me up.
I don't know.
So the whole thing about it is I'm not telling you I'm coming in here saying I get what you're doing. I'm saying I get what I see, what's happening. There's a happening going on. You know what I mean? So I tell people driving Uber and Lyft is like Snapchat in real life. Because somebody will get in your car and you have that amount of time that you can just sit there, and a lot of times they'll sit quietly. Sometimes they'll ask it, how you doing? And before you know it, listen, I've been in the car and everybody's always jokey. They're like, oh yeah, you ever get, picked up by women? Nah, man, but I get picked up by a lot of dudes. I'm not used to that. I'm a Baptist church, grow up in the Baptist church, and I'm old school. I'm 42 years old. We used to beat up gay people. Hey, I'm not ashamed to say it. We picked on y'all when y'all were coming up. You got your dues from our end. So he's like, hey, what are you doing? Is there anything I can do for you? You gotta suck your dick? No, you can't suck my fucking dick. Goddamn, where do you want to go, man? So the whole thing about it is like, this is a new day. This is a new era. And my whole thing is I've had people get in the car. You guys are CEOs. They're big businessmen. Like, nothing bad. Like, for instance, if when your dad was in the thick of it, gets in the car as a chauffeur to go from the airport to whatever his account is or whatever, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just picked him up from the conference center. I didn't pick him up from a bar. Yeah. And I got a 45-minute drive, and he starts talking to me, opening up about stuff, about things that are like he's just venting, like I'm the bartender. Yeah. And I'm driving, listening to this guy, and I'm going, man, I bet you probably could write a book with what you have accomplished in your life. And then on top of that, I'm also thinking, I bet you your wife or your pastor doesn't even get to hear this. Because he was just breaking off with some just men, Yeah, nothing shady. It wasn't about that. And that's the stuff that I'm like most interested in with these podcasts. I'm trying to get to what I see, what I was telling you about Anzia and about Zenith Nevers and Eric Dowis and you is I call them blips in the universe. There's 99.9% of the people are, employee number wants a career with insurance, with a retirement. I walked away from all that because I wanted to do something where it's almost like you stand up out of the stream of consciousness that's going in one direction and you go, wait a minute, and it's like all this is going around you and you're like holding back progress, you know?
Yeah.
And they're blips in the universe. And I know you got to get going, so I'll wrap this up soon.
No, I'm good.
Oh, you're good?
Yeah,
okay. Look at this, man. I got a fancy rapper. He's good. He's good on time. So the whole thing about it is I see that I see your family. Fuck, man, it's all over your goddamn family. My family, it's all over my family. And I've met people, you know, and like I said, I grew up. It was part of one of my bits. One of my jokes I talk about is like I grew up with a list of things I was supposed to be afraid of.
Yeah.
You know, black people, drugs, Hindus, Muslims, you know, gays. There wasn't no transgenders. They're all the same back then. Mm-hmm. So the thing is now as I've gotten older, and I believe what my faith is, where I'm at now is my faith, but I also believe that as I've gotten to meet these people, I don't think that they're all bad. In fact, what I've come to discover is they're all going through their shit just like we are.
Yeah.
Bill Burr says, how dare you say your shit sandwich is any better or worse than my shit sandwich? We both have shit sandwiches. So the thing about it is now my goal is I want to take that list and I want to get these people on stage and I want to say, let's unravel this. We don't need to know your dark and dirty secrets. I just want to show that we're not all, you know. So I've gotten right into the belly of the beast. Them gold teeth, dreadlock having, scary from the outside. If I rolled in there with some people that I know, they'd lose their damn minds. But when you get in there, bruh, it's like barbecue on Sunday morning. It's just the sweetest people you ever meet in your life.
Good people.
And the whole thing about it is it's like a cultural thing. It doesn't mean that they're bad. They're just different. You know what I mean? So I'm all about shining light on different and bringing it out. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so, what do you see coming down the pipe? I know you're not full-time in video and all that, but because you're young, and this is what I'm like trying to catch up on, the basics, like editing for retards. Oh, you're not allowed to say that. Special needs, forgive. Editing for special needs. Yeah. I'm over here trying to figure this stuff out. Meanwhile, you guys all grew up in it, so you have the background. So you can take your art and design it yourself, cut it yourself, and then you promote it yourself. And this is what I have, this idea, this vision. I got this guy that's coming over here. He's got 40 plus years in the casino business. Mm-hmm. I got this guy over here who's got 50 years in television. I got this guy who's shipping and receiving. This guy who's bricks and mortar. I mean that by like doing big things with very little. And these guys, I'm going to call them the Council of Elders. And I'm going to set up this Last Supper looking thing when we're going to videotape it, where we're going to bring modern issues. They're going to have months to prepare, and we're going to have modern issues, and they're going to put their old school wisdom with great thought on social media, you know, the issues with the right and the left, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do at least 2 episodes a year, if not 4. Okay? The same premise, scrap them, get out of here. We're going to do something called the Council of Hustlers. Mm-hmm. And Zia, Thomas Mosley, if he'll agree. Different people that I'm seeing that are moving and grooving. Moving and grooving.
That'd be tight.
I got a guy who's a crazy promoter for EDM. I got a guy who's a crazy promoter for hip hop. And the whole thing is this: Council of Elders will meet to have a show, haha, shake hands, dap, making network, blah, blah, blah. But then Illuminati shit, when the camera comes off, we're all going to be sitting around going, how can we do something big and make a big amount of money, and how can we all do it together? Yeah. So the idea that I had initially is that situation that I was just in where I did 1,000 seats, that tent is $6,000 a day to rent. Mm-hmm. But the place that's going to be doing their annual function will have that tent there for 3 days before the function opens.
Use it up. So
my idea would be, but the reality is you have to come correct. They're not going to put any money up.
Yeah.
So we have to be able to, and I don't know that it's going to happen. It's just an idea, real rough out here in the ether. I'm trying to put together while I'm still trying to keep up with all this. Mm-hmm. But the thing about it is what if you had an EDM night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? It's not the ideal, but what if we could make it where it becomes an annual thing that we can have these giant festivals.
I think annual is the key too.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I mean, it's just going to get bigger and better every year.
See, my whole thing is this is now small country, inner town politics. But Leesburg, Florida, has their bike fest. You know, Orlando has a ton of shit.
Daytona
has their Biketoberfest and other things. Who's to say? Look, if the demographic states that the best, or like I would say, the worst nights would be the ones that we would do for like people that are adults that can come out and not have to worry about missing on a school night. So like country music or a really good rock show.
Yeah.
Okay, Southern rock, whatever. But the deal is this, and this is the tricky part. I want to promote it like an EDM. There are local EDM people that can make that boom boom shit sound the same way as these fancy people you fly in, like a KO and all those other people.
Yeah, I know.
So the deal is you take a year and you build that fucking name and that person and you pump it through social media, and before you know it, when the show comes back around, they think he's fucking Aiko.
Yeah.
Because it's that easy to spoon feed him, and not in a bad way. The show will be hype. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the same thing with these hip hop shits that are coming through, selling out at Coliseum and stuff. What if you did some kind of an organized event and maybe do like, one of the other nights? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be tight.
But the whole thing, if I can make it the whole thing, because right now I really only need to focus on one night. But what if we could do this and it start out as a thousandaire and become this multi-million-dollar thing that we can then, thanks for the jump start, we'll get our own tent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be tight.
Because remember Kid Palooza or whatever? They did it way out there off of 200 in this giant cow pasture. You could see it from I-75. Off of 80th. The lady from the Psychic Friends Network, what was her name? Bricks and Mortar? The black lady, Dionne Warwick, was the host of Kid Palooza like less than 10 years ago, and they put on a huge festival out there in a cow pasture. It hasn't been back since, so it probably wasn't that successful.
Yeah.
But the point is, and they had that whole giant stage and everything as if it was like an EDM festival, but before it really blew up. So it was a really unique stage. It was really colorful and it was giant, considering it was in the middle of off of 80th. Yeah. In the middle of 20,000 acres of nothing. There's this weird concert looking
lasers,
thing.
lights,
everything.
fog machines.
So the whole thing about it though is the property's there, the power's there, everything's there. So the future could happen. Why couldn't Marion County have a big thing like Leesburg does every year, like Daytona has every year? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And neither one of those towns can handle those promotions. Leesburg shitstorm when you try to drive out there. There was a lady that worked for me who had to move into a motel every year. She has to live in a hotel because she can't get to her house for a week.
Oh, wow.
And then the same thing with Daytona. I was just there by accident. I took an Uber Lyft for a guy down into the Biketoberfest. I ended up hanging out for a little while just checking it out. The thing about it is, from a business perspective, they don't charge for anything when you get there, except for the drinks and the food and all that. So I was in 2 different concerts that had 5,000 plus people in them for free. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Weird. But you look at the event and that fucking tent that they used to put the 5,000 people in, there was 2 of them. They were probably $1 million each.
Yeah.
For the whole week. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's there, man. We just have to figure out, and now what if it has to be that a bunch of young people can put all their shit together and birth this thing and become millionaires, and from that do whatever we want. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All these are the things I think about when we drive Uber and Lyft.
A lot of things go through the mind, huh?
It's crazy, bro.
Just how to make money.
Let's just try to just do something different.
Yeah.
Why be a goddamn employee number? I'm done with that life.
All right, yeah.
So what's next for you, man? We'll get you wrapped up. I'm sure your new bride will want you home, eat some chicken with her or something.
I hope it's chicken, man. I got my album's gonna drop the end of December. So I got that. I got some big features. I got Petey Pablo, Nino Brown, Pretty Ricky. Working on a few other features with some people. And February 5th, Miami Heat, American Airlines Arena. I'll be back. February 5th. It's gonna be crazy. You going? You're going.
I'm actually working out something else. I don't know if we can pull that off.
Yeah, you have to cancel.
No. Actually, for us.
Oh, okay.
Because see, my sister, we were going to do our launch party for the website for the show at the end of January, end of February, end of March. We're trying to figure out the end of January. We might do Orlando, end of February. So now you're talking about beginning of February. But the thing is my sister has connections with big nightclubs in West Palm because she's a business owner. So we were going to do the launch party at one of the nightclubs on a Friday night and then one of the nightclubs on a Saturday night, which all the people will already be there. It has nothing to do with me, but it'll look like they're there for me. And then I'm bringing some South Florida comics that I've been following on Facebook, Leah J's, people like that. They're going to come out and do some work on the mic just for goofing off time and get some shit exposure on the site.
After party, what's up?
That's my point. That's the thing.
Go.
Maybe we can have you, maybe we'll have you do spit a little bit, and then you become part of an ingrained part of the fabric. Because the thing about the West Coast podcast unit is, like, when Ari Shaffir launches his new special, he goes on all of the people in his circle.
Yeah.
Just similar to what we're used to growing up. We keep it in our circle.
Yeah.
But the point is, if you do something, you can promote it here on this show, and then I'm going to be building a network of podcasts. Because believe it or not, you know, a bunch of these people, they have 20,000, 30,000 followers. Swervy Jones, shout out Swervy Jones. We already reached out to him. He's very easy to open up. He wants to come out has me come on his show. He was just up for Florida's Best Podcast last year, and he's in Leesburg.
Oh, wow.
So it's easy to go check him out.
Yeah,
see what I'm saying? Beer Nation's in Mount Dora. They're around, you know.
Yeah.
The Sumterville boys, the Trailer Park boys are down in Sumterville in a little shitty single wide, and they've got like 80,000 followers.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's what's up.
So the point is that's just a new way to promote your brand to people who would never know who you were.
Yeah.
Otherwise. See what I'm saying? Plus, I got all these guys now that are in big radio stations, because now the new thing with radio stations is these podcast radio shows. So they do all the shows on one day, 5 shows, they're like an hour or 2 each, and then they just upload them automatically on this giant computer system. They don't have DJs anymore in radio stations.
Yeah.
You know? So the point is now these guys are all talking to me about putting me on the show because they're dying for content. So everybody can dip into everybody's original. There's a dude Flauda, DJ Flauda, down there in Diamond. He has an internet radio show. He's got followers. Connect to those people and vice versa. See what I'm saying? So all right, man, we're gonna wrap it up. I thank you so much for coming out.
No, it was good.
Okay, we're gonna get ready to do your message to the universe. So like I tell everybody every week, you know, just something you want to tell. Hey, world, you might want to know. Hey, future great grandkids, you might want to know.
Yeah, I'll just say you might want to know life ain't easy. I know a lot of people tell you time goes very quick. You know, I feel like I was just a little kid the other day, and I know I'm still young, but man, time flies. So work hard, hustle, do everything you can now because you're not promised tomorrow. And life's not easy. People are going to kick you, but just keep on going.
All right, universe, we thank you for your time. Love, peace, chicken grease. We out here. Thank you.